Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how super easy it is to install Nerf bars on your Polaris RZR Turbo S. So let's jump right in and get started by removing the 3 T40 Torx screws located here, here, as well as here. Once we've removed them, we're going to grab our drill guide from our hardware kit. We're going to insert it into the factory hole just like this. Then we're going to take our factory screw that we just removed. Go ahead and fully tighten it. Then we're going to grab a drill with a 7/16 drill bit. We're going to insert it right through the hole just like this. And then we're just going to drill straight through the back side of the frame. We're just going to repeat these steps for the rest of the holes. On this very front hole up here, if you reach back in behind, you're going to notice that there's a gusset in the frame. So once you drill through the frame rail, you're actually going to get into that gusset. So you want to make sure that you're going slow as you're going through there, otherwise it's binding your drill bit up. Once you drilled all the way through, repeat the same exact step for the rearmost hole in the frame. Go ahead and drill all the way through. Then you can grab an M10 bolt from the hardware kit. Make sure the bolt goes all the way through. Looks like we're all good. Looks like all our holes are good. We're just gonna remove our drill guide. Now we're gonna grab our stud and one alignment washer. We're gonna orient it just like this so the curved portion of the washer is facing towards the cotter pin side of the stud. And we're just gonna go ahead and thread this right into the Nerf bar. Whenever you do this, you wanna make sure that the curved portion is facing just like this. That way, whenever you slide it up onto the frame of the machine, it fits to the contours of the frame. Fully tighten it. Whenever you do fully tighten it, you wanna make sure that it doesn't spin on you. Hold it a little bit sideways like this, then you go to tighten it down. A lot of times it'll spin just enough so it'll be perfectly lined up whenever you go to put it on the machine. So just like that is exactly how it should be oriented. So once we've gathered our bolts, as well as our alignment washers and nuts, all the hardware for this side, you can take your bolt, drop it down into the Nerf bar just like that. Slide the alignment washer on, then just take it and kind of lay it into place. Then once it's somewhat in place, you can take your center screw here from the provided hardware kit and thread it right into the factory location where we removed the T40s. You just got to get it, somewhat started. You can even take a ratchet if you want to and just tighten it up just a little bit. That way it holds this Nerf bar from falling off. Now we can take our rearmost alignment washer and just slide it right up in there. Might have to loosen your bolt just a hair. That way it pulls it away. You can take a little wrench or a screwdriver. Just kind of feed it to where it needs to be. Make sure it's spun correctly so it lines up on the frame. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna come through the front side here and take a long extension. Just start working this Nerf bar into place. You may have to move it around until you get it lined up with the hole. Then you'll just wanna push it through just like that. Once it's through, go ahead and get your nut started. And we're gonna take this bolt that we just removed out of this center piece of the Nerf bar that was helping us align the Nerf bar up. We're gonna come through the back side and reach underneath the gas tank and start feeding it through the hole that we just drilled in the frame. Then you're gonna take your 3 M6 screws and go ahead and get them started. And they're just gonna go right into the factory location. You're just gonna kind of wanna run them up a little bit. This is gonna help suck that Nerf bar towards the machine. And as you're doing this, you just wanna make sure that your alignment washers are still facing towards the frame of the machine and fitting around the contours like they should. This is gonna help you especially with this bolt right here because the bolt's coming this way. And if it's not sucked all the way in, you're trying to hold the Nerf bar and get this nut started. So now once we have all of our screws ran up, we're gonna start tightening our hardware. We're gonna get this nut started on this center bolt. Just reach up underneath the gas tank, hold that bolt in place, and just get your nut started. On the passenger side, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to reach in there and put a wrench or a socket or anything on the head of the bolt from the inside. So what you can do if you do have an impact, you can take it, get it on the nut, and kind of put a side load or some side pressure on it. And if you just bump the trigger of your impact, it should grab a hold of those threads and start tightening up. Looks like ours isn't wanting to tighten up. So in this case, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a long extension to get underneath that gas tank and get to the head of that bolt. It's just a 6-inch and a 3-inch extension with a short 13mm socket. What I do is I just shove it in through the backside, follow that frame rail, get it on the head of the bolt, and you can take a socket with an impact. And if you hold onto this extension tight enough, it'll bite the threads with that nut and it'll tighten itself up just like this. Then as always, you want to come back and check it with a ratchet. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go through and we're going to tighten this rearmost one. So we have a 15mm wrench and a 13mm socket. Then what we're going to do, we're going to come back with our wrench on this one because the nut's exposed in the backside. Make sure it's good and tight. And then on this one, since the nut is facing towards the outside, we're going to grab our ratchet and our 15mm on a 6-inch extension. And just come in here, just tighten it down, and it's good and tight. Then you just want to go back through and make sure that your alignment washers are on this side, so the Nerf Bar side, going up against the frame, and they're fitting to the contours. And we're just going to go through and we're going to fully tighten all of our Allen-headed screws here. It's not a bad idea to grab just a little bit of Loctite and apply it to the threads just so they don't rattle loose. Just wipe it off the Nerf Bar and everything. Then we'll go through and we'll fully tighten them. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the cotter pin provided in the hardware kit. We're going to come on the back side of the front stud and we're going to slide the cotter pin into one of the holes on the stud. Then once you've installed your cotter pin, you're just going to want to bend it away from itself. Now repeat all these steps for the opposite side, and that's all there is to it. That's how super easy it is to install SuperATV's heavy-duty Nerf bars on this Polaris RZR Turbo S. For more information on these Nerf bars or any of SuperATV's awesome products, feel free to give us a call at 855-743-3427 or check us out online at superatv.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.